Well, you're probably noticing that there's a bit of a difference in the background here. I have actually moved room in the house because we are now starting the decorating process before the new arrival arrives in the early part of February. Our second child is getting ever closer um, to being born, so I've now been shifted into another room so we can get that room decorated. But thanks for clicking on to the Tuesday edition of Vogan's US Outlook. Very El Nino-like type of pattern across the western half of the country, or really the country overall. We're losing the severity of the cold, and what we're going to start to see is we're going to pick up a persistent train of systems coming in from the Pacific into California, into the west, and that is going to lead to even more rain and snow. We've seen a lot so far in the first 8 days of January. San Francisco's picked up more rain than it had in the whole of 2013. Um, what we're going to find here is that we're going to see a ton more moisture, a lot more moisture piling in as we go through the next 10 to 15 days here. There is a little bit of a lull after this current series of systems come through. We get a bit of a lull, and then we see more wet weather coming in to the western half of the country. Great news, of course, for the drought areas. This is a big deal, but of course, as per usual, it comes a little bit too much too quickly, and therefore we get the flooding, mudslides, so on and so forth. So you can see here, this is off the current GFS that we've got high pressure now, Arctic high now starting to shift off the east coast. So we're starting to replace the cold air with much milder ocean air, and therefore we're going to start to see much warmer conditions, generally west to east here. But there's a slightly colder system now compared to the weekend where we've seen a lot of snow melt. We had, what, 16 inches of snow melt within 24 hours at one of the Lake Tahoe sites, which is pretty remarkable. But it just shows you how warm that system was to do that. It takes a lot to remove 16 inches of snow within one day. But this current series of systems is colder than the weekend system, so therefore we're seeing heavy snowfall back in the Sierra rather than heavy rainfall. But as you can see here, let's skip through the sequence here. You can see here one system pushing out, notice the track further north, so therefore we're keeping things warmer further south. Then we've got a massive ridge of high pressure that kind of develops the system coming through California. This is the lull that I'm talking about early next week. Then the Pacific Northwest gets refired once again. Those systems then run down the west coast. More wet weather, more low pressure coming in to the western side of the country here. So this is a great pattern. This is a tremendous pattern, despite the fact that we don't have an El Nino. It's a neutral Enzo at the moment. It's interesting to see that last year or last winter we had a super El Nino, and yet we had quite a dry winter, and yet we've got a neutral Enzo, we've got a very wet winter. So it's interesting to see how nature sometimes can change the rules somewhat, and it is a very interesting pattern, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the total snowfall over the next 5 days. Going to be mega snowfall across the western half of the country overall, up across the northern tier through the Great Lakes. Systems that are lifting up through the Great Lakes will drop a lot of snow, as you can see here. But even through this is only 84 hours. Now let's see if I can change the region here just to give you a better idea as to what the Sierra Nevada is talking about here. So even just within the next 84 hours, folks, we've got 80 inches of snow across the just to the southwest of Tahoe here. Within 5 days, the model is indicating that we have still 80 inches of snow, but tremendous amounts of snowfall, folks. This is really quite an interesting pattern. 7 days from now, and how much is the model talking about here? Let's have a quick wait and see. Plenty of snowfall, as you can see here, across the mountains of the west. So this is a great year for not just skiing, but also for in terms of moisture as we go in. The Sierra Nevada and the mountain snowpack in winter is a crucial factor when it comes to water for the summer season, for the dry season. It really depends on the winter wet season for a lot of the moisture here. So even through the next 10 days, I think we're going to pick up another 5 to 10 feet of snow. Yeah, that's right, 5 to 10 feet of snow over the next 7 days. Never mind the next 10 days here, as you can see here on the model here. So very interesting. We also had, of course, a very significant windstorm through Colorado yesterday. Colorado Springs saw a record wind gust of 80 miles an hour. We've seen semis getting blown over. We've seen structural damage. Those winds were fierce crossing over the Rockies yesterday, and I'll have a written post on that later on today as well. So plenty of things going on. Keep it right here on myfuckingweather.com and on YouTube. Thanks for watching, and please visit the website if you haven't already done so, because it is entirely free now. You don't need to pay for it. So there you go. Hope you have a great day Tuesday. Bye for now.